Welcome to the St. Louis Writers Group and the Scripteasers group from San Diego. This is exciting to have a joint meeting, and we look forward to hearing three plays this evening, two from San Diego and one from St. Louis.
Where's My Sting? A sketch for stage by Mark R. Turner. The cast of characters. Death. In his 60s, a prosperous executive. This will be read by Mark Biaggi. Mulgroy. In his 50s, Death's very knowledgeable and efficient assistant would be effective as a proper British butler. This role will be read by John Tesmer. Abby Cadaver. In her late 40s, the world's leading medium, a brash American, read by Renee Gondola. Mrs. Bumbleding. In her 60s, Death's cook, a sweet and kindly matron, read by Donna Turner. Death is concentrating on work at his great ornate desk. His assistant, Mulgroy, enters through the large door and closes it behind him.
Sir, I have the latest report on our project.
Oh, good, Mulgroy. Just bring the boy in.
Sir, he is not in attendance.
Well, come now. Round him up and let's get on with it.
He was just in the sitting room, sir, but evidently only briefly.
Oh, we never let strangers wander about. They're locked up with the keys. What's the meaning of this?
Well, sir, I noticed a certain air about this one when he entered. He seemed to know his way around the place.
Impudence. Of all the effrontery I've seen in my time, this little bugger tops the list.
Yes, sir.
Send out the staff to apprehend him before he upsets the order of the cosmos.
I have already done so, sir.
My sun-bleached bones. We've had the most infuriating run-around with this kid. How on earth did this get so out of hand?
On earth, my lord. This is the one that got away from Herod the Great.
Herod the Great? No one escaped that fellow. He was one of our best.
Yes, sir. But the massacre of the infants did bring in a good number of children under the age of 2.
Oh, which is nothing to sneeze at. You're quite right, Mulgroy. What the devil?
I'll see who it is, sir.
Oh, I know that voice.
Ms. Abby Cadaver, sir.
Abby enters.
Abby?
Hey,
you have something?
gruesome. You playing hard to get?
Oh, hello, Abby.
Started?
Early seance today?
Well, we started early, but all I got was a busy signal.
My dear, you're not the only medium we service.
But I'm your best, and I like to get action when I call up my customers' deceased folk.
Abby. You know, as soon as I get someone, we hardly jangle the keys in their locks before they're transferred up or down. I simply don't have time to record their voices anymore. Business is just going through the roof here.
Well, what's happening downstairs? They've been sending you talent for centuries.
I can't get a good mimic these days. The devil is sending up rank beginners.
Oh, tell me about it. I called up a guy's dead uncle today, and what do I get? A 10-year-old girl. I had to make up something about him on the spot.
And you are so good at that. I tell you, dear, you, me, the devil, Everybody's really struggling these days since that little man slipped through our fingers.
What? You let some guy get away? Who am I talking to here? The Grim Reaper or Farmer John?
Don't take that tone with me. We're dealing with it. We're having to come up with some countermeasures we've never had to use before.
The door opens and Bumbleding peeks in.
Time for a break, sir. Time for a break, sir. You must try my new recipe.
Bumbleding!
Abby, give us a kiss. Mwah, mwah.
Ladies.
What you cooking up today?
Excuse me.
Well, if I can get our angel of death to taste these cookies, I might have a whole new strain of bubonic plague.
Oh, quiet, you silly gargoyles. Mrs. Bubbleding, while I am eternally grateful for your service in the kitchen, we are trying to conduct business here, and we're in the middle of a crisis.
Ah, sir, my bubonic plague will just hit the spot.
Try a cookie.
Plagues, good for a few immediate bodies, but they learn to work around it. A whole plague is obsolete in no time.
Then I should feed the cookies to the rats.
I'm very sorry, but my appetite is rather distracted at the moment.
Don't worry, love. The rats will infect the fleas, and fleas will carry your culinary genius everywhere.
Then I suppose certain higher-ups will take notice.
What I have noticed is that everyone who is supposed to deliver bodies to me has continually missed one little man.
But we're pulling them in, sir. So what if we miss one little man?
If I may, sir.
You talk to them.
Mesdames, it makes little difference if we miss a body, unless it is an individual who goes about reversing our work.
What?
Go on.
You see, Mulgroy, nobody is paying attention.
Let me see. The Roman legions are swarming all over the earth with those wonderful killing machines, and you're worried about some little guy doing bandages? What are we talking about?
The hills of Judea.
Oh, I shouldn't worry about there, sir. I've got lots of poisons and disease very well established in Palestine, in spite of all those cleanliness laws.
And the little man in question has been going about touching them, not bandaging, not feeding them chicken soup, just touching them, and they're cured.
Oh, dear. But surely he can't get around to everybody.
And they will get sick again. Everybody's got to go sometime.
That is not his lordship's point. The fact that this fellow can reverse our processes sends a message to the general public that his lordship may not be the final word.
But it's not just that he's missing. He has a growing following of people who no longer respect us. Tell them, Mulgroy.
The little man has taught them that death is not the final end, that they will be resurrected, that there is a life beyond their pathetic little world.
You needn't get morbid, Mulgroy. You needn't get morbid.
I'm sorry, sir. It's purely its technical sense that I use the term everlasting.
You mean like a rubber band?
Not elastic. Sting, everlasting. Nabby, I have not...
Like what you lost.
Yes, I have not lost my sting. We're simply talking about a potential disaster here. Life eternal.
How does motherhood come into it?
Motherhood? No, no, eternal, not maternal. Always, always, never ending.
Yeah, mothers can be that way.
Oh, shut up. There's nothing for it. We'll just have to catch up, that's all.
Sir, we have fallen considerably behind. Those who no longer fear you are rapidly gaining in number.
Well, we got the Romans to build those colosseums. They can pick up the pace with the martyrdoms.
We're doing that, sir. The believers don't seem to respond to threats of, you, sir.
All right, all right. Think of something.
Perhaps a complete review of what actually works?
Right, right. What kills people?
Well, of course, you've got your pestilences.
Famine, disease,
Accidents.
Yes, yes, well, those are all right, but I'm searching for a whole new thing, something with a new twist. We're desperate here. What really kills them?
a good show. The other day, I heard a comedian say he was slaying them in the aisles.
Melgroy, check into that.
Yes, sir.
What else kills them?
Bad TV.
Yeah, documentaries on the History Channel.
Okay, ladies, can we move on from show business? We can't use that tool for another 2,000 years.
I have often heard people vow that a dessert was to die for.
Ooh, that's good. Mrs. Bubbleding, more of those kinds of desserts, please.
Pleasure, sir.
Lots of folks say they'll get somewhere if it kills them.
And we'll take them up on that. Now we're cooking, people. Oh, cooking people.
It is also said that one would rather die than do something.
And again, we'll say, fine.
I'm always hearing them say they'll shop till they drop.
Excellent.
Or over my dead body.
Oh, I like that one. See, people are willing. We just haven't been taking them seriously with these idle words.
I've often said it's the little details that add up.
Like those little germs you've trained.
Ah, they've all grown so.
And all over the world. You must be so proud.
Ladies, come back to me here. We're not out of the woods yet.
Ah, your lordship, folks may talk about immortality, but that's just their sugarcoating for the facts. You'll find my recipes and the work of our staff effective in the end.
Okay, listen to this. Our little man has been known to purposely let people die so that he could prove his point by raising them back to life. What's your recipe for that?
So, he's one little guy with a talent. Let's bump him off.
I have been personally trying to do that his whole life. Massacres, mobs, storms at sea.
Oh, you big baby. What about your crucifixion campaign?
Oh, you think this is easy? Well, it took a lot of backstabbing and pulling of strings, but I have managed to get his own people and your precious Romans to finally finish the project, no thanks to you.
There you go, fella.
He was dead.
Wonderful work, sir.
We had him right here.
Look, why are you telling me this? Because I got clients waiting for advice from their ancestors.
Don't you push me, Abbe Cadaver. I just sharpened my scythe and...
All right, sir. Let's talk. What is it, dear? Are you telling us you misplaced a soul? Is that it?
Be assured, sir, there is no way out of here.
We have millions waiting under lock and key, and this one will be no exception.
The keys are the key, right, sir? Right, Mulgroy?
Yes, one set of keys to death and Hades.
Mulgroy's cell phone rings.
Excuse me, sir. Yes? What? It's concerning our little runaway, sir.
Good, good. Let's bring him in.
Sir, it's too incredible.
Mulgroy, you're breathing. You're
Sorry,
breathing.
sir.
Take it easy, old boy. What are they telling you?
Mulgroy puts his cell phone away.
Well, it seems the little fellow got out.
They're faking it. I know how this is done.
Didn't we seal it?
Yes, sir. Their own government seal.
I better get cooking.
She hurries through the doorway and slams it behind her.
And the stone over the entrance. No one cared. No one who cared was even strong enough to...
And the Roman guards and the threats of you, sir. They only found a hole in the wall, it would seem.
And he's out?
Mulgroy, hand me my scythe.
Mulgroy picks up the scythe and hands it to him.
Well, did this out-of-body experience has been...
She turns and runs to the door.
Don't call me! I won't call you.
She exits, slamming the door. And Death runs after her.
I'll give you a seance!
He exits, slamming the door.
Well, that went well. Now to tell him about the fellow who got away with the keys.
Mulgroy straightens his waistcoat, turns, and calmly exits, closing the door quietly. End of play.
Okay, I'm going to serve as, I'm Michael Conner from San Diego. I'm going to serve as moderator for this. And I would agree with what Rob said earlier. We can't see everybody. So just jump in and make sure you don't jump on somebody. So off the top of your head, 1, 2, 3 words. What's your immediate reaction to this?
Funny.
Clever.
Mm-hmm.
I love the dry, macabre humor and was well written.
Okay,
Great
Donna?
names.
Mysterious.
Entertaining.
Devilish.
Hey, Rita, did you have your hand up?
Absurd.
Rita, I think we didn't hear from you when you were speaking.
Oh, I said great names.
Yeah.
Abby Cadaver is the best.
I'll add Monty Python-esque.
Okay, a range of reactions. Off the top of your head, what are your characters? What is your reaction to the characters? Are they clearly defined? Sufficient contrast between them? Do you like one more than the other?
Yes, their contrast, very farcical. Yes, love the names.
Yes, I especially like the Mark's and John's character. There was a very nice contrast, especially some of these lines. I mean, it's really sitting here and laughing out loud. This whole thing over my dead body and no longer respecting death. I mean, it was just very funny.
Do you have a favorite character? Anybody want to pick one of those that you believe the most? Any thoughts on that?
Like them all. Death. Everything is out of control.
I kind of like Mulgroy. He's sort of the cleanup guy or something. You know, he's the he has to kind of do the bidding of death there, and he's trying to tiptoe around things and try to, you know, please him, even though things are grim.
Grim Reaper Grim.
What about the dialogue? You know, is it believable? Is it realistic? Is the use of language effective? Does the dialogue belong to each character? Is there specific dialogue?
Yeah, I enjoyed the pace and the energy of the dialogue.
I think this is basically a sketch, and as such, it goes on too long. And in particular, the section where they're going through the figures of speech related to death and dying, some of them don't make any sense in the context, and they're just one after the other, after the other, after the other, and it's unnecessary and could be shortened to good effect, I think.
I'd say that one thing that's difficult with doing this over Zoom is that cues really need to be very tight. There needs to be almost overlapping in some of this, and it's very difficult to do that in this environment.
Well,
I think if it were staged, it needs crackerjack timing. It needs, these things move, and they would be moving a lot quicker. There were some dropped cues in the reading tonight too, which made it a little bit more difficult, I think, and longer than it would have been had we done it staged.
Okay, good. Now, conflict is the basic building block of drama, as we say. So with all the dialogue and the conflict, you know, does this grow out, or dialogue and character, does this grow logically? Does this make sense? Does this ring true to you? What are your thoughts?
Well, it's an absurdist premise, completely. So yeah. I think it within its unreality, it's realistic.
Yeah, the fantasy of the piece is what attracts me to it. You know, within this fantasy world, it's a well done. It reminds me a lot of the Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to say that as well. Actually, it struck me as if the Screw Tape Letters had been re-scripted by Terry Pratchett. Because with Terry Pratchett literature, death's a very big character there, completely different character, and I wonder if it is too reminiscent of things like the Screw Tape Letters and Terry Pratchett, both of them. Especially as we recently had on Amazon, I think it was Good Omens.
Good Omens, yeah.
By Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, which I personally thought was just absolutely wonderful. And has done really, really well. And it kind of fits into that same sort of genre. Got some nice lines, but it does seem very reminiscent of things which have been done before.
Donna.
I think it's kind of like the mystery play during the medieval times when it deals with theological questions, but it's a farce. If it bothered me, if it follows enough of religion, then you can kind of see the gist of it. But the death, he would have held the people in Hades, so to speak. I think Hades was mentioned there. And this gives them the potential of eventually being resurrected. So I think if that was brought in a little bit more, it would have given a little more foundation to it.
Good. Any other thoughts about the conflict there? Okay, so taking all of these together, the conflict, the dialogue, the characters, what do you think the author's premise is? You know, one thing we like to say, why did the author bring us here tonight? Why are we listening to this play? What are your thoughts?
I think it was to make us laugh.
Right?
I really do. I think it was just to entertain and give us a moment of levity with a sort of a familiar situation as it develops. that pretty much everybody in the audience knows what's going on at a certain point. And I think that's all it's for.
Good. That's helpful. Yeah, Donna.
I think it showed a conflict, though, between those that would think death is the final end, and then or those that think there would be an afterlife. It showed that conflict in there.
Okay, good. Any other thoughts? Did this hold your interest?
I agree with Mark. I don't think there's any hidden meaning there. It's purely entertaining, and it very much was entertaining. A lot of fun. It flowed.
I agree with that, and I thought the balance between, you know, the seriousness of discussing death, but, you know, was there, but it wasn't brought out in a way that was over the top. It was still just a fun moment of theater.
Death can be fun.
I was going to say that we just had the announcement today of over 500,000 people having died from COVID. And so to me, interestingly, this play is playing against that, you know, against this terrible sadness and the weight of that, and then taking all of that and making it light.
Okay, that's good. What other thoughts? You see any staging problems?
It struck me that we're talking about plagues, and that's what we're experiencing right now. But this play was written a long time ago.
That's good for the author to hear.
There are always plagues.
There's always death.
Sure, Donna, go ahead.
Well, I think gallows humor might be a part of this, and that's something that occurs a lot in Irish drama. Probably some other drama too that I'm not aware of.
Okay.
It reminded me a bit too of, in addition to like Hogfather and things like that, I saw a little bit of Piers Anthony stuff in here too, because he did a whole thing with death, that being a job, basically, and different people do that job for a while and then they move on, and they could be the devil later, and they're like jobs that people do, and that was kind of amusing. So I like that idea of these being roles that people play, and maybe this is the current death. Maybe, you know, Mulgroy becomes death later when, you know, death gets promoted to another position. So I can just see a lot of, I like this world, so it's silly.
It's also different Jobs that people can play to continue relating.
Different Jobs.
Well played. 10 points for Gryffindor.
So, anybody see any staging problems with this? Anything that's going to make this? You think the script is marketable as it is? Is there something that some feedback we want to give the author that might help him or him? Anything about the marketability? Is this ready to go?
I so much enjoyed the play from just as entertainment. The one thing I was wondering, though, is as I was trying to imagine watching it live on stage, is I wonder if there could be some movement added to it or something more visual. The dialogue was pleasant. It was very well done, I thought. But I just wonder if there's a way to make it a little more visually exciting, or maybe there is something that we just don't see on a Zoom meeting.
I think that's a good point, Rob. I would definitely have Mrs. Bubbleding bringing in a tray on a cart or something like that. You know, there'd be all sorts of little bits going on. You know, maybe having her serve up tea, you know, things like that. And you know, Abby Cadaver. I definitely think that movement is going to be up to the director. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity to make this very interesting with movement, but it is not actually written into the script. You're right. So there's a lot of room for interpretation here.
I think the costuming could also be quite dramatic. I mean, when you have names like Abby Cadaver and things like that, that could be really what adds all of the interest.
Yeah, I agree. I think Abby Cadaver, for example, I think she's a very flamboyant character, and I think she could have like just a crazy outfit, like yeah, I was just, I don't know why I was thinking of Schitt's Creek, the Catherine O'Hara character, the crazy stuff she was wearing. I mean,
Yes.
you could do a lot with costume in this show, and that also would really, it would pump up the comedy as well as visually make it fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great point. I love the idea of that. I actually saw her kind of, Abby Cadaver kind of as a Gloria Swanson-esque type character, you know, in my head. But definitely Moira from Schitt's Creek works. For me, when I was thinking of Death, I was thinking of him as this guy in a suit, and his cloak is back there, you know, hanging behind him and stuff. He doesn't wear, that's when he's, you know, that's the outfit, you know. But in the office is, you know, he's dressed for work. So there's stuff you could play with, I think, with costuming in this that would make it very interesting and fun. I wouldn't do too much with sets, though, honestly. I think that it doesn't need much in the way of sets. Props, yeah, I think you might want to bring some props in, but and costuming definitely, I think, would add a lot. And I play more with the costuming than I think with sets or anything more. It works well in an evening of one acts or short pieces or a fringe or something like that. I think it would be very entertaining, and I think it could be done for not just on stage, but I think it could be done for on camera very easily.
Donna, I think you had your hand
Oh,
up.
I was thinking of the woman that was causing the plagues. She could come in with a tray with a teapot, like whatever happened to Baby Jane, and raise it up and have a rat inside there.
It's like the tea bag, you know, you dip it by the tail.
Just as long as it's not live.
Any other thoughts before we turn it over to the author? Any last minute thoughts you want to throw out? Okay, well, let's thank Mark for his play. And Mark, you want to say a few words? Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. It's a lot of fun to hear all your ideas. This was written quite a while ago, and over the years I've just updated it. But it comes from an old tradition of the medieval play, the street theater farce, and so it's meant to be very broad and fast and keep the audience laughing. And so the original idea for the script was Dawn French did a great piece, a short film where she plays Death driving around doing appointments at different homes. And she's quite bumbling. And one time she gets back in her car after blowing a death job, and she's looking for her CD. Where's my Sting? I thought that was brilliant. So that got me going, and I thought, what a great collection of sight gags and even profound jokes to get people to think about the ultimate questions. So that's basically the reason: get people laughing and relaxed, and be able to think about stuff that they would maybe want to avoid.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much.
Thank you.